Backup Gateway 2 provides energy management and monitoring for solar self-consumption, time-based control, and backup operation. It can be deployed as part of a whole or partial home backup system with or without solar power. Backup Gateway uses its site controller as the brain of the system, directing power flow in and out of Powerwall. Traditionally, power flows from the utility grid, through the meter, and into your home. If you have solar, the power generated goes to your home loads, with any excess going back to the utility grid. The addition of Powerwall allows the solar generated at the home to be stored and used later when the sun goes down. Backup Gateway 2 also controls connections to the grid, automatically detecting outages and providing a seamless transition to backup power. Upon loss of supply voltage, Backup Gateway 2 opens its islanding contactor, disconnecting all downstream loads from the grid and signals Powerwall to discharge, forming a microgrid that includes any single-phase solar inverters. All circuits on the load side of Backup Gateway 2 are backed up, either the entire home or selected loads. Any circuits tied to the non-backup lugs will not be backed up during an outage. This may be done for large loads such as water pumps and air conditioning units. Backup Gateway 2 must be installed upstream of any backed-up solar or Powerwall outputs. Behind the glass door is the dead front cover, which has an opening to access breakers that are mounted to the internal DIN rail. A service-only manual override switch is accessible behind a window on the dead front. The reset button and status LED are located near the top of the unit. To remove the dead front cover, remove the screw located under the reset button. Behind the front cover, the top area houses the site controller, where external metering and low-voltage connections are made. In the center of the unit, with the orange cover, is where all high-voltage wiring terminations are made. Near the bottom is the DIN rail, which can be used to house breakers for solar inverters, Powerwall, or a main breaker when needed. The ground bar is located here, above the DIN rail. Proper connection to earth and neutral to physical earth bonding is required for safe operation of Powerwall systems and compliance with local code requirements. The correct neutral to earth bonding scheme must be maintained when the system is disconnected from the grid. Backup Gateway 2 ships with one of two configurations based on the installation country. In regions where the neutral connection must not be broken when in off-grid operation, the neutral to neutral jumper bar is present to maintain the neutral to earth bonding scheme. In regions where the neutral must be disconnected in off-grid operation, the switched earth jumper is pre-installed instead. This jumper will rebond neutral to earth locally when the islanding contactor is open. Please be advised that incorrect bonding presents a risk of electrical shock or damage to equipment. Verify that the system is properly earthed and that the neutral to earth bonding scheme meets regional and local requirements. The supply lugs connect to the incoming feed from lines 1, 2, and 3. Above the supply lugs are the non-backup lugs, which are used in partial home backup configurations. To the right of the supply lugs are the terminals for the supply and non-backup neutral conductors. The home lugs are located under the white label and are used for backup loads, Powerwall, and solar AC terminations. Neutral conductors for these loads are terminated on the neutral lug or neutral bar. The islanding contactor is located above the neutral bar and opens during a grid outage, electrically isolating the supply and home lugs. A manual override switch is located on the front of the contactor, which should only be used for service or at the explicit guidance of Tesla support teams. Behind the orange cover, factory-installed CTs, known as Meter X, monitor power flow on lines 1, 2, and 3. Above this are the internal auxiliary meter connections, also known as Meter Y. 100-amp auxiliary CTs are plugged into Meter Y to meter solar circuits. Above the CT connections are the antenna bar, reset button, and status LEDs. At the top right is an Ethernet port and the communications connectors. These are used to connect to the internet, communicate with Powerwall, and for auxiliary functions like load shedding and hardwiring additional energy meters. Subsequent videos will cover Backup Gateway 2 mounting and wiring. Please review these videos carefully and consider our recommendations for the various scenarios you may encounter in the field.